Welcome to a short video on some basic Python statements. And today with Python with Andrew, we're going to look at the for loop. My name is Andrew Lang, and these videos to help you explore Python. Let's jump right over to the code. I'm using Visual Studio Code, and I've set out a basic file there with a bit of an introduction, and I'm just going to run a few statements and see how the for loop looks. Now, the one thing I'll say is that for loop is what we call a bounded loop. So when we want to do repetition a certain number of times, let's say 4 times or 10 times or 100 times, a for loop is often a really good choice because it has a beginning and an end. And it's quite simple. The syntax is quite simple. We go for some sort of counter or variable is in some sort of list, or often called an iterable. We do the following statements. So for loop is bounded. We have a beginning and end, as opposed to the while loop, which we'll look at later, which is unbounded. So let's jump on and write some code. So a simple for loop might look like this. For I is in range 3, print in the loop. Okay, nothing. And if I run that, you'll see on the right hand side we just have 3 times in the loop, in the loop, in the loop. A simple statement there. So that's the easiest part of the for loop. We say the counter I is in the range of 3. We want to do it 3 times and we do the loop. But let's be let's delve in a bit further. The one thing we'll note here, Python, unlike many other languages, does not start counting at 1. It starts counting at 0. So in this particular case, we say I is in the range 3. We mean 0, 1, 2, stop when you get to the maximum there, 3. Okay, and I like to show this by let's printing the text and also the variable I. And let me clear that and run it. And save it first and then run it. Help. And you can see that we have in the loop 0, in the loop 1, in the loop 2. So be careful because Python is not like a lot of languages which might count 1, 2, 3. It often starts counting 0, 1, 2. Same thing, it does 3 loops. If, on the other hand, we change this to 1, 2, 4, where we use the range where we've got a start and an end, in this particular case, we're going to get what we'd expect, and that is 1, 2, 3. Remember, again, don't fall for the trick. We do not execute for. When I becomes 4, we stop the loop, which is the print statement, and go to the next statement. And for example, in this case, if we have a print the end and run that, we would have it doing it 3 times and then going on to the next statement, which is the end, and carrying on and on and on down into the rest of the program. So that's the simplest form of the for statement, often used with a counter like that, where we want it to go for a certain number of times. Sometimes we do it over a list of items. So we might have something like for, if you like, character in a list of characters, A, B, C. Right? And that list could have been a list of characters, a list of colors, a list of cars, a list of anything. And in this case, I just want to print out the character is and let me clear that and run that. And you can see that I've got obviously my beginning loop, and then I've also got the character ABC. In this particular case, the loop is done for every item in that list. And that's a very, very useful use of the for loop, where we've got a list of things and we want to do the same thing for everything in that list. So that's just a quick introduction to the for loop. We're going to see it over and over and over again in a lot of the programs that we write in this set of videos. So thanks for tuning in. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you want some short, sharp videos on Python to help you learn Python. So subscribe down the bottom there, and I'd be very, very grateful.